Good morning, teachers and students. My name is Camila Neira, and today I will talk about my third lesson plan that I planned for my students. The topic of this lesson is Old Times and Modern World. This class will be approached for the third baccalaureate. The duration of the class would last 45 minutes. And the proficiency level is intermediate B2.2. And the lesson planner designer is my person, Camila Neira Rodriguez. First of all, to create a lesson plan is very important to always first focus on the objectives of the class, because then we can distribute the different activities and the things we would like to do with the students. I will focus on four main objectives with our listening, speaking, reading, and writing. First of all, students will be able to identify new vocabulary about traditions and culture of Ecuador. In the speaking objective, students will be able to speak about important traditions and festivities in Ecuador, and they would use the new vocabulary, which are new verbs related to the new topic and connectors to connect some sentences, and that is very important for students in a higher level. Then students will be able to recognize the new vocabulary, and they will use some relevant aspects about the culture of Ecuador they will learn. So it's very important that they always find the most important information in the reading activities, so they can work later in all the tasks that I will give them. And finally, students will be able to talk about the importance of keeping alive the culture of Ecuador and some of its traditions in the country, and they will write some aspects about it using connectors and new vocabulary. Then I will focus on methodology and strategies on my lesson. I choose two important methodologies in my lesson, which is communicative language teaching and audiolingual method. Then the strategies will be whole class work, speaking, comprehension, and review of worksheet answers, and then pair work, which will be speaking activity. My anticipatory set for this class will be that the teacher will talk about the culture of Ecuador and how important it is for all the people to maintain alive these precious traditions. The teacher tells the students that her favorite traditions in Ecuador are the food and in the festivities. The teacher would like to ask the students if they have one favorite tradition in Ecuador they would like to share with the class. So it's very important that the students are also learning topics related to their countries, because that's where they're going to learn more things that probably they don't know and they haven't experienced yet. And there are so many traditions in one country that I don't think all the people is able to all the time be concerned about it, but there are some things that are still alive and some other things that we don't keep alive. Now I will talk about my main teaching input. That it is how I will organize the structure of my class. So first of all, to begin the class, I always start with a small warm-up activity, which will help students to be able to enroll better the learning topic. Students will have to think about some Ecuadorian traditions they like and explain each one of them. The teacher will show some pictures of some special Ecuadorian traditions which are applied in different parts of the country, and the teacher will also explain its importance. And the teacher will write some new vocabulary on the whiteboard and students will write them on their notebooks. I'm always expecting that the students will always write something on their notebooks so they take notes and they have all the information they have to have in order to study for a test or just to never forget the information that we learn. For me, it's very important that they always are taking notes on their notebooks. Then students will listen in comprehension about Ecuadorian food, and for this activity I will use the audiolingual method. Then the teacher gives students a worksheet to be working on the listening, some listening questions, and then students will read a small text about la fanesca, which is a very traditional dish in May, and for this activity, I will use a communicative activity. Then the teacher goes around the class to check students and see if everyone is understanding the learning activity. The teacher and learners will check both listening and reading answers. Everyone will have the opportunity to participate, and this is a communicative activity. Then students will write 5 to 6 sentences about the importance of keeping alive the culture in Ecuador using the new grammar and vocabulary. They will work by themselves and they will write some things that they know about their country or some things that they already learned, but they have to explain it in their own words using new vocabulary. Students will work in pairs and they will discuss about their writing task, which traditions they already know or have been part of it. And then the teacher will walk around hearing learners' conversation and assisting them if there is need. Finally, the teacher and learners conclude the class by reviewing the learning topic. In the modeling part of my lesson, it's mostly about that the warm-up activity helps learners to center into the learning topic and to have the opportunity to introduce themselves to the class. It is always relevant to have an interactive activity at the beginning of the class to improve students' learning motivation in the course. In the guided practice, students will develop a group and pair work. They will learn with the teacher's help some new vocabulary related to traditions and culture of Ecuador, and then they will discuss about their importance. The students will have the opportunity to tell his or her partner about the things they have already experienced and which traditions they would like to be part of it in the future. I think this guide practice is very important because it's when students are able to interact with other classmates and also have some different thoughts and opinions. And I think it's very important because each student learns different things they don't know, and this is a good way for them to interact. The independent practice is also very relevant for my class because that's how I really analyze and evaluate my students and how much English they are approaching. So students will develop listening, reading, and writing activities. These activities will help learners to improve some learning skills. Then they will listen a conversation about some traditions in the Amazon, and they will have to read a short text and then answer some questions from the passage. At the end, students will write a small review about one tradition they like from Ecuador and explain some reasons. Then assessment, the teacher will show always students pictures and videos about Ecuadorian traditions in order for students to know more about its precious culture. And finally, to finish the class, the teacher will ask the students to investigate and then write a review from 2 unknown traditions from Ecuador. They will do it on their notebook and they have to do this investigation in order for them to learn new things about our country and its culture. Finally, they have to use the new vocabulary and grammar, which is always involved in all my lesson plans. And to conclude the class, the teacher will ask the students some final questions to make sure that students are aiming the topic briefly. And this will be my third lesson. Thank you very much.